It is so good to see you here this morning. I'm glad you all made it. It is so much more enjoyable when you're here. It is. It's like you get this picture of me coming down on Monday morning and trying this, right? This morning we are going to continue in a series that we have been walking through, a series titled Story. And what I wanted to do is to present to you a story today. And so I have a couple sitting with me up here that I have just grown to love. And Jim and Linda have been such a blessing, and I wanted them to share a little bit about their story with you. And so a lot of times we'll do this on videos, so there's an opportunity for us to have some really big blunders here. So we're going to take the risk of doing this live, and I don't know, I just think you'll enjoy this. It's all about what God's doing in our life and how we're responding to that, and so editing the story. So has the story, Jim and Linda, the story of your lives been edited in the last year?
It's been totally rewritten for me. It's not edited. It's gone from knowing there's a God and knowing there's a Jesus to knowing God and knowing Jesus.
Wow.
It's a huge difference. I've not only been reborn, I've been born for the first time, I think, in the last year.
Wow. Wow.
I totally feel the same way. It's just been a blessing to be here and to have our story rewritten. It has been totally rewritten, and it's just been a blessing.
Linda, tell us about how you wound up at Austin Blessed Community Church.
Some friends of mine that I work with have been so praising ABC so much, and I felt so touched by it and seeing the changes and the help that she has given me, and how she's been so good at work. So she was coming here a lot, and I just wanted to be here. So she invited me, and I came, and it was right after Christmas, and we had such a great service. I felt it in my heart. I felt so touched, and what a great community, what a great family it was here. And I walked away with such a great feeling, and it was just such a blessing. And I went home, and I was crying, and then I was also exuberated. I was celebrating, and I told my husband, because he didn't come that Sunday, and I said, oh, it was so wonderful. The people are great. It was such a great service. And Pastor John just, he touched everybody, and we were just so joyful when we left that Sunday. And I told him, there was singing, there was people greeting each other, and right there he's like, well, I would like to go, but I don't want to get up and greet everybody. So he's like, well, okay, I'll go. But he says he's very shy, which we all know by now he's not.
We can't get him to stop during prayer.
So after that, he's been here ever since.
Yeah, so you were here one Sunday, and I remember that, and then you showed up. And tell us about your first Sunday.
It was a Sunday that changed my life forever. It really was. I didn't think for anything I'd ever come to church. It was like I said first, it was like winning the lottery, the odds of me coming to church. But I came, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was totally being reborn. It went from not knowing what life is all about to totally knowing what life's about.
Wow. It's amazing. When I asked you, we met and talked a little bit about today, and I asked you this, I'm going to ask again, and either one of you can answer this. How has God, the work that Jesus Christ has done in your life, how has that affected your home, your marriage, your work, your relationships? And you can pick one or all.
I know with me, we just had an existence. We were married 10 years ago, but we were just married. It wasn't a caring, loving family. It wasn't that kind of a home. I don't think either one of us were brought up that way, but in the last year, finding Jesus Christ in our hearts, we have turned it into a loving home and not just a house. God has turned us around. He showed us what loving and caring is all about.
Wow. Yeah, I feel the same way. It's just brought our marriage closer together. I try to bring everything out in every aspect of my life, at work and marriage and just the community and everything. There have been moments that we may slip, but we always think of God, and He brings us through, and our work atmosphere is, I think, a lot better, our marriages. I just love the community and what ABC has helped, and how God has helped me walk through the path and help everybody.
Linda, thank you for sharing that. I mean, that means a lot to us to hear. I know you know that, you live with it, but for us to just hear, Jim, for you to talk about how God's changing your lives. I'm going to be a little indulgent. I'm going to ask you a question about something that we formulated years ago. We put together because of God allowing people to come here that had not yet learned the ins and outs or the beginning process. We started these classes, discipleship classes and bridge discipleship classes. So I'm just going to ask you, you have been to, in fact, if I understand right, you've been to 3 of the 4 and you would have been to the 4th one, but we didn't have it this last time. How have these discipleship classes helped you in the process of learning how to live your life with God?
Well, in my case, it was the most important thing, actually, because they say I wasn't in religion my whole life. And coming here the first time, I had no idea what it was like, what it took to walk with Jesus. And these classes, they show you, they teach you the right way, the most comfortable way to grow in your faith. And without that, I still would be stumbling and I would still be a little bit nervous. Like I think it was the first 101 was they start talking about how to be a minister in Christ. And I thought, I don't know anything about being a minister in Christ. I don't think this is a place for me, maybe. But it's shown me through the steps. The ministry isn't standing up on a pulpit. It's doing your will of God in your way to serve God and serve people.
Absolutely. Do you have anything to add to that? You don't have to, but if you...
That was basically everything. It has helped us in such a way because when we came here, we met so many people the very first day. And even my coworker, when she was like, yes, please come, it's really great. Even if you don't know which way to go, how to talk about God, how to present things. The bridge classes were a great help, but it was so comfortable to come here, and everybody was so accepting. And even though we, as I used the word before, felt stupid about how to communicate things, but everybody's been so helpful and so gracious and just wonderful.
I want to say this about Jim and Linda. If everyone came in the way you have come in, you've just been hungry for God, and you have, and like maybe that first, the 101, you were hesitant when I talked about ministry, but you guys just show up for everything. Whenever there's a need, you do your best to be there and help. And maybe I'm overstating that because no one can do everything, but you where you can, you help. And I just want to commend you. And I want to say to the church family, we're part of this process, and the process of taking people from point A to point B is what God has called us to do, to build bridges to the community, help people come to Jesus, and then help them in the steps to grow. And so you excite us. You do. And your story, it's so wonderful to hear it. So I want to kind of bring this to a conclusion by asking, I'm going to say some words, and then you just, either one of you or both of you, give me your response. Okay, first word, salvation.
I haven't.
Okay. Forgiveness.
Salvation.
Easier.
Okay. Church family.
Awesome.
Okay.
ABC.
Yeah. Transformation.
In the process.
Okay. Jesus.
In your heart.
Last word, baptism.
Proud.
That was very confusing. So when you hold on to that a minute, and Linda, you tell us about your baptism.
Oh, just watching the baptism today was just bringing it all back to me. When I came through it the last time, it was such a moment in my heart. It just opened up, and I just felt so accepted, so relieved, just honored. And I just felt in the presence, and it was just such a great feeling to leave here that day, feeling accepted, and just, I accepted God, I accepted the life and what I want to do here at ABC. It was a beautiful moment, beautiful day.
Tell us what baptism was for you.
Mine was more of a scary thing to start with, actually. I knew what it was all about. It was something I wanted to do. It was part of the process that I've been going through since coming to ABC. But to me, it's a lot harder to be accepted by people. And when I came out of the water, to hear the crowd, to hear the ABC family was the most wonderful thing I think I've ever experienced in my life.
Can you hear the crowd one more time? I know that it's not the most natural thing to have to get in front of a bunch of people and share, but you have shared your life today with us, but you're living out your life, and we are so thankful for you. It has been easy to have you come and be a part of our family, and on behalf of the ABC family, I just want to say we love you, and we thank God for you. We really do. One more time, okay?